Hey, Boppers. Hey, Boppers, we're back again. We've just got dressed from being nude on the moon, and we're back
Yes.
for special episode 13. We've been not actually been dropping hints about what we're going to be talking about.
no.
We've just been saying we've got something special for 30, and I mentioned this to a friend of mine. I said we've got a special one for that, and they said, "Oh, you're doing Friday the 13th," and I went, "Do you know what? It never actually crossed my mind to do that." We've got a double bill today. One of our favourites. We love a double bill.
We do.
And this includes the original and remake. And I suppose it's much more of a remake than the House of Wax.
Yeah, definitely.
Modern remake. Much more. And it is 13 Ghosts.
Ooh.
13 Ghosts. We're going to be talking about the film from, is it 1960?
Yes.
1960, which is great. And
really
the
good.
2001, which also is a film.
Yeah, it's
not bad. There's stuff to be said for it.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah. But we'll start where it all started. 1960. Yes. It's great. It's less than. In fact, both of them are about an hour and a half.
Yeah, they're not.
They're both nice short
not
ones.
epics.
No, absolutely not. William Castle directed it.
Well,
and it concerns. Features 12-year-old child actor Charles Herbert. He's in it quite a lot.
Dude.
He's very good actually. Wow, it made $1.5 million in the US and Canada. Yeah,
that's quite good.
Yeah, that is good. It doesn't say
could
what
use it to fly to the moon.
Yeah, and have enough space on it to bring something back.
Yeah, tasty bit of gold.
Or a tasty bit of nudist.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's it's pretty cool. It's it's about the Zorba family.
Which is a rad name in itself.
Yeah, they've got brilliant names. So Cyrus Zorba.
Yes.
He is what's his job? I've forgotten.
He's like he collects kind of artifacts and things.
Yeah, it starts off. He's talking about a dinosaur.
Yeah, so he's he's like an paleontologist, isn't he?
Yeah. He works at the sort of museum or university or somewhere between the two.
Yeah.
And he's talking about. It starts off with a big dinosaur fossil, or like dinosaur skeleton.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how it was found in like the La Brea tar pits. So I'm assuming this is set in California. It doesn't really matter where it's set, to be honest.
Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But the La Brea tar pits that had all sorts of stuff in it, and
just before we get there, though, the opening credits are kind of brilliant because you just get loads of wailing and then like all these kind of paint splatters. But I think they're meant to be like ectoplasm or something.
Oh yeah.
And there's like this hall of fame of all these ghosts that are about to pop up.
Oh yeah.
And it gets to 12.
Yeah.
And then it gets to 13, and there's just a question mark.
Yeah, it's like a proper Riddler style question mark. Yeah, there's let me see. Oh, there's a list of them here.
Yes.
Where's the? I've got.
It's like a Hanna-Barbarian kind of cartoon, though, where they kind of pop up.
Yes, it's look for these. I'm taking this from Wikipedia. Include a wailing lady, clutching hands.
Yep.
A floating head, a fiery skeleton.
I mean, to be fair, that was fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Italian chef.
An Italian chef murdering his wife.
Yep.
And her lover in the kitchen. A hanging lady.
Yep.
An executioner holding a severed head.
Oh, the lion and the tamer.
Described as a fully grown lion with a headless tamer.
Yep.
And a floating head. 2 severed heads in this.
Yep.
Brackets, presumably belonging to the tamer.
Ooh.
And Plato Zorba himself. Plato Zorba is
that's a great name.
The occultist whose house it is. This is might be the earliest. I didn't check. I was planning on checking, but the earliest of the you can have this haunted house if you stay in it a night sort of idea, popular in sort of horror films and like cartoons and stuff like that. So Cyrus Zorba is not doing very well. So it's weird, this film, because when it starts off, it's all, look at the ghosts, they're going to get you. And then it cuts to this Brontosaurus was and it's sort of, it's like a sort of a sitcom. It's like Leave It to Beaver, or like it's sort of really like jolly and all American and very sort of white bread.
Because it's got like the Monsters vibes and all that, and like Addams Family and stuff.
And it's got all of that good stuff in the nice big house. But when he's at work and when it's so not spooky.
Yeah, although I think my favourite thing is when he's giving the lecture, you just hear this, shh, psst, psst, and like he just keeps getting busted. Busted. I don't know how you say it. For this
keeps
man.
Getting pissed. Yes, his colleague just keeps on trying to get his attention. And then he just sort of stops giving this lecture. I don't know. He might not even work there. He might just be telling everyone about this big dinosaur skeleton. But
why not?
But he's sort of quite gung ho. But he's up to his knackers in debt.
Yep.
They are.
Oh, but he's so lovely. He's like.
He is. He's got again.
I just want to give him the world.
He's got that sort of proto Jimmy Stewart kind of. Oh, everything's going to be okay. We'll find a way around it. Sure. Doesn't sound like that. He's got that sort of vibe going, and there's a phone call from your wife. And she's there. She gets turfed out of a chair by the bailiffs as she sat in it. They're repossessing everything.
But the thing while he's on the phone is he's like twirling this skull, and he's kind of like pressing this skull.
He's got a skull on his desk, obviously, to show that because the audience really need to know that he works with bones.
Yeah, like
that's
he
his
loves
job.
bones.
Bones are his job.
Yep.
Bones are his business, and business is apparently shit.
Yeah,
because he's got no money.
Yeah, but he keeps not paying the rent as well. He's like, and so they're like, oh, this is the last time we're gonna get repossessed, isn't it? He's like, yep. Totally, totally fine.
Oh well, maybe I can. So I might do it as Jimmy Stewart a bit, but that's only because of the sort of the overly positive vibes that Cyrus gives out. So he rushes home to nothing, to his wife, his son, his daughter, and a telephone.
But they do own mattresses.
Oh, yes, she makes a point of saying, it's just as well we own the mattresses.
Yay!
So presumably all of the stuff in his house he hadn't finished paying for.
Pretty much.
So he bought everything on credit and stuff. His kid is, because he's got like a teenage daughter, maybe.
Yeah.
She's like maybe what's
17, 18, maybe 16.
She could be 30.
But who knows? Like, she's like the Marilyn of the group. She's very pretty and very like joyful. And
do you know what? That. It's like if Marilyn was the same as the rest of the family.
Yeah, pretty much.
If the family, if the Munsters were all like Marilyn, that's who the family is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works quite nicely, actually. I like that. But she's sort of like a third parent to Buck. Because she's very nurturing. She's very fond of him and stuff. And he's constantly got his nose stuck in. Because
it's his birthday.
It's his birthday, and
they've got feck all.
Although Marilyn bought him a book.
Yes.
And
ghost stories.
Of ghost stories, yes. It's a book called Ghost Stories, and on the front it says Ghost Stories. And he's not opened any other presents, had a look at his cake or anything, because he just found it and just opened it up immediately and just started reading about the ghost. This kid loves a ghost. This kid is you.
He is Dan Aykroyd.
You may well
in the past.
He's Dan Aykroyd and you. He is nose to the page of his book. He's like sort of pressing it. He's like breathing funny that way. Yeah. And his sister's like, doesn't she bite him?
Yeah, she bites him on nuzzles him.
She bites him on the ear, like only like gently, to sort of, because she sort of pushes him. She like taps him on the knee and she gives his shoulder a shake. And then there's a knock at the door. and the mother's like, "Oh no, they're coming to take away the children or something."
Wow.
Oh.
Old Bucky wishes.
Oh, he makes his
He
birthday
makes a
wish,
birthday
doesn't he?
wish.
Yes, he wishes to live in a house with furniture.
And they have it forever. They can keep it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, what more
Because
could
he's
a young
such a
boy want?
little Dickensian orphan at this point.
It's so cute. It's very endearing.
Yeah, because you expect, what with it being called 13 Ghosts,
Yeah.
and what with his only characteristic being that he likes ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
You think, I wish I knew all of the ghosts.
All of
Because he doesn't
them.
blow them out. The gust
No.
of wind comes through the window
Well, yeah.
and extinguishes all of his candles. He's got, and there's loads of candles on it, way more than his age.
He's like 80 or something.
He's 80 years old.
Yes.
And then, ding dong, there's somebody at the door.
There's somebody at the door.
There is. And they go there, and there's a weird looking bloke.
Yeah, he reminds me a bit of Lurch.
Yeah, he's like a tiny lurch.
Yeah. It's quite.
That ties in actually because the Juggernaut in 13 Ghosts, played by Lurch from the new Addams Family.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So when they did the new one, it was the same bloke who played Lurch.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So there is a little loop in here. We're connecting it all to Monsters and Addams Family because why wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch it, you will see.
I don't know if you've heard the theme tune to this podcast, but I might have taken some inspiration from the Monsters.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
So when I was writing it, because I thought, well, I know how I want it to sound.
Oh yeah.
Frightening and adorable.
Hooray.
So the Monsters. They find out that this telegram that gets delivered by the weird-looking bloke is from a lawyer saying, "I need a meeting with you."
Oh yeah.
With Benjamin Rush, is it?
Bloody Ben, yeah.
Yeah. All right, don't give it away.
Oh no! I'm just saying I quite like Ben.
Yeah.
In his infancy.
So Benjamin Rush, attorney at law.
Yeah.
Or lawyer or whatever. He's don't think he is an attorney. There's no court case. But he's
nice attorney.
Oh yeah, that's true. He wants Cyrus to come in for a meeting.
Yep.
And at 10 o'clock, and so his wife says, "Well, what are you going to do?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to go to the meeting."
And then he's like, "Why run away until you know who's chasing you?" Which I was like, "Oh, that's quite good."
Yeah. So they're thinking,
Freddy.
"Oh no, are we being sued by somebody? Are we?
Yeah.
You know, what's going on?"
Because he's not the most legal of chaps.
Well, he's up to his eyeballs in debt, so he's thinking, has someone just straight up sued me for not paying or whatever? So they go in the next morning and they find out that his uncle
Zorba. Yeah.
No, it's Plato.
Plato.
Plato Zorba has died and left them the house.
Yeah, which is pretty sweet.
It's a pretty sweet deal. The house and the furniture, everything in it.
Yep.
And it's theirs forever, but they're not allowed to sell it. Legally, they can't sell it. If they try to sell it, it'll revert to the state. They'll get nothing. So, but they're thinking, well, our house isn't ours.
No.
So,
like, if you see it, it literally is just, there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's depressing for them because they can't even sit.
no, they're sort of sat on the floor around the birthday cake, which is on a plate on the floor, and so they're sleeping on what we're led to believe are sort of either bare mattresses or just sort of like sheets on mattresses.
Yeah.
Social services came round. The kids would be taken away, quick smart. Luckily, they're not. So so they go, all right, we'll move in.
Yeah.
So they go, okay, well, I'll meet you at the house later then. So they meet.
Well, they're also left with this like weird waxy package.
You're absolutely correct. They've got a little, sort of wrapped in. Oh, it's sealed, isn't it? Wax sealed.
Yeah, and they're weirdly like, they're a bit like, oh, is his book psychic? They think there's genuinely like a moment where they're like, who is our child?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, apparently, Buck, not in the least bit remarkable.
No.
Paranormally speaking.
Oh, no.
Utterly charming as a child. So they open it up, and is it the spectacles?
Yeah,
the glasses
it's the spooky glasses.
Yeah, they're given these sort of glasses, and they look a bit like X-ray specs.
Yeah, like
well, not X-ray specs, 3D specs.
Yeah, like.
But with sort of a bit more clockwork, a little more sort of lenses and prisms and...
They're very spivvy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're pretty great. I'm like, oh, well, I suppose the crazy old guy just left you with those. I'm like, all right, then, fine.
Brilliant. There's like a ghostly whale when they open as well. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and then the fly, like, the gadget kills the fly or something.
Oh, yeah,
Because it's powerful.
Oh, that fly's amazing because it's clearly on a stick.
Yeah.
Not even a string, but a stick. And it's like... zzz, and then, yeah, the fly lands on it and goes... with psychic energy, just blows the fly to fuck. And
13th ghost, innit?
Yeah, 13th ghost, mate. That's the fly. So they meet the lawyer...
Yes.
at the house. And the guy's like, where's all your stuff? And they go, we don't have anything.
Yep.
This is we're in the clothes we're standing up in, mate. We're counting on there being new clothes for us in here.
Oh, yeah.
It's...
but they do have...
Oh, roller skates.
They have roller skates and they have the witch.
They do.
They do,
They have got a housekeeper played by Margaret Hamilton.
Yep.
Best known for her role as the Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz. Yes, that Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
She is the stern, witch-looking housekeeper. There's no two ways around it. She's very, very stern. She doesn't stand for roller skating in the house.
Yep.
She's just she just appears every so often and goes very well, and then it even gets mentioned. He goes, well, we can't really afford to pay her. She goes, that's all right. She said she'd stay on and continue her duties until she finds another, you know, in memory of your uncle.
Yeah.
She's going to carry on with her job until she finds further employment.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, that's nice. Okay, fair enough, because she does live there as well. Why not?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, she was paid very, very handsomely. Don't you worry. She can afford it. She's more financially solvent than you pricks.
Brilliant.
Loosely is what Rush is saying.
So now you're just left with this lady.
Yep.
And that's okay.
And that's fine. Yep.
Yeah,
she's unintrusive, but
she's very
there
respectful.
at key points.
Yeah.
Rush is spending a lot of time accepting flirtations from, is it Merida?
Medea?
Medea.
Which is a very cool name.
Merida was her from Brave.
Oh, yes.
Medea, yes.
Yeah.
And is his wife Helga or something like that?
So I think Medea and Hilda.
Hilda.
And he's called Cy.
Yes,
I think.
Cyrus, yes.
Cyrus.
Yeah, Medea and Buck.
Yes. Bloody hell.
So Medea being very flirty with the handsome lawyer.
Oh, yeah.
And he is, quite wrongly in my estimations, because she must be like a mid-teen, mate, or like maybe a later teen.
It's a bit dodge.
Also, it's your client's daughter. You just sort of you just don't, do you, mate? Come on.
I mean, if anything, you know, maybe try and get it on with Hilda.
Oh yeah,
she's actually closer in proximity.
Oh, now there's a woman of the world. There's a lady who knows what she's doing.
She'll do that, and she'll make you a peach cobbler.
Oh, imagine that.
Know what that is.
I don't either, but
it sounds like the right thing to say.
Do you know what? Peaches.
Tasty.
Of all the stone fruits, they could be among my favourites.
They're pretty darn good.
They start to notice stuff when they go to bed, don't they?
Yeah.
There's stuff going on, and no one's enjoying themselves except for Buck, who thinks it's amazing.
Oh yeah, he's off his tit. There's howling. There's all sorts of bits and bobs.
Yeah, Medea, she's not thrilled.
No.
She's not thrilled at all.
But like the thing is, it doesn't all start out like this. It's all kind of normal, but they find this Ouija board, and she finds it. Does Medea? And they kind of...
Oh, yeah, they explain it as well. See?
Yeah.
I
got the platent or whatever it's called.
The planchette.
The planchette.
And I only remember that because Planchette is the name of D'Artagnan's manservant in The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas.
Nice.
Yes. I've never met a French word I haven't overpronounced.
All I can say is Jessie, Elle est maison et monsieur de bois et madame de bois. I'm here at the house of Mr. and Mrs. Wood, I think. I don't know. Yeah, that's very good.
Blanche de Bois.
Oh, Bois.
We might do Streetcar Named Desire one day if you want to
Sweet.
see.
I've only seen The Simpsons.
Yeah, it's like that.
Cool. But
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
oh, good.
You want to see Marlon Brando in a T-shirt that they made as tight as they could by putting bulldog clips in the back of it.
Ooh.
His physique was so remarkable they wanted to show it off, so they gathered his white T-shirt at the back and bulldog clipped it down, so it really it's technically a shirt that would be impossible to put on. Pretty great.
Oh dear. They play this like Ouija board, and there's like, oh, there's no silly questions, and then Ben's like,
oh yeah,
who does Medea like?
Yeah, if you ask a silly question, it won't answer.
Yeah.
And then he goes, is Medea in love with anyone? And it's like, mate.
Yeah.
That is.
Like,
and Cyrus and Hilda are like,
you're in love.
and Buck's like, that is a gross girl germs question.
That's the worst question ever.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And then, and then Buck's like, are there any ghosts in here?
Yes.
Yeah, and then his dad goes, hey, I was pushing towards no, you fixed it.
Yeah. And they're like, nope, we don't want to do this now.
Yeah.
This is, oh no, because they ask how many as well. And there's like, there's 13. And everyone just like backs off. They're like, nah, not cool with this.
And then it's just Medea and Buck left. And they go, oh, well, we'll do it again. He goes, let's try it without touching it.
Yeah.
All right, then. Who is going to die? Is anyone going to die tonight? Or is anyone going to die in this house? And it moves over to yes.
Yeah.
They go, who? And then it just lifts up and just lands in Medea's lap.
Yes, which
it
is
sort of it flies
terrifying.
through the air and lands on her lap.
Yeah.
And he goes, should we ask what time? And she goes, no, I don't want to know.
She's very she's quite.
So she's not having a nice time.
Oh
with
God,
it.
no.
She Buck's there going, my sister's gonna die. I'm going to see a goat. A goat? I'm going to see a goat. You might see a goat.
You might see a goat ghost.
A goat ghost.
Wouldn't be unknown for this film. Never again.
That's how the goat became a ghost.
Oh yeah, and I know it's a bit. We shouldn't really do it that linear, but like there's just the dad goes to like check on the kids and stuff, and he's like, all right, cool.
Oh yeah. He's doing the good night
he's doing
rounds,
the good dad thing. Buck's asleep. He kind of stares and goes, "That's a kid asleep."
Yeah.
And then talks to Medea.
He's sound asleep with his book of ghost stories next to him on the bed.
Yeah, just like, come on. Maybe I've a bit of Beatrix. Probably wasn't even around then. I don't even know. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But then so he talks to Medea and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Now it's time for pretty girls to go to sleep." He goes back to Hilda.
I text you that every evening though, don't I?
Oh yeah. It's like it's such a lovely
I'm like,
thing.
oh, I've just got to remember that Emma will be wide awake, wondering why I've not confirmed her today.
God
Emma,
damn.
it's time pretty girls were asleep. Oh, and she just texts back,
like,
you're right.
Yep. This is not threatening. But like,
it's time pretty girls were asleep. Don't open your wardrobe.
Nope. No. Fucking hell. I've got a Chelsea smile. But one of my favourite things, he's like, all good on the on the offspring front. And I'm just like, oh, yes. Like, I don't need anything else.
It's like,
Cyrus
could he speak more like a massive dad?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's
menacing things and just offspring. He clearly. Oh Jesus.
Yes, he's quite the guy.
Oh yeah.
He's
Hilda's got a lot to contend with.
Yeah, she's because any concerns she has, he sort of brushes them off as wifely flim flam.
Yeah, stuff flowing around the kitchen, Hilda.
Yeah.
Tis but nothing.
Oh, well, I suppose it means you don't have to reach into the cupboard to get it.
Ah, flour. Let's get some dough on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He's
And so
Good father.
they
What's
managed to
husband?
survive the night because
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Yeah, it's pretty anticlimactic.
It
That's
is,
fine.
yeah. And there's a couple of moments like this. So
Mm.
they're going around the place.
A lot of stuff does sound like orgasmic sounds, and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
ooh, and it goes on for quite some time.
Oh yeah,
You're just like, bloody
some of
hell.
it sounds like Frankie Howard. It's like, oh no, don't.
Ooh, ghost matron.
Yeah, yeah. There's some of that going on, but yeah, it seems to sort of not really be a problem. But there is a montage of all of the ghosts. Sort of the ghosts all appear at once, really, don't they?
Is it? Yeah, because he's like down in basement. He went to get a book and he follows it, and this door opens, which is ominous anyway. And he goes in. And he's
A
like,
similar thing happens in the remake when the kid's on his. Because the kid's got a scooter instead of roller skates, and he's scootering along, and then one of the doors opens, and he just goes, "Ooh!" So there are some.
Yeah, there's some parallels. Like,
there's some little nods. It seems like the people who did the remake certainly had elements of this in mind.
Yeah,
because
like,
it's a lot closer than the 2005 House of
yeah,
Wax
totally,
thing.
like,
So like we said earlier.
Yeah. And he kind of watches all these like ghosts like dance about with these goggles on.
Yeah, because with the goggles on, you can see the ghosts.
Yeah, like,
and that's
which is consistent with the
and in the 2001, yeah, absolutely. So, but the ghosts seem to be sort of they can't interact with you so much.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't know they were there wouldn't be that much going on, really.
No,
I don't
mean,
think.
There's like skeleton on fire because the book sets on fire or something, and then his hand has got like this branded 13, and he's like,
that's
ooh.
right, yes.
So is it Medea or is it Cyrus? Who will die next?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Because, the 13th ghost, if there's a 13th ghost, then they all get to go free.
Yeah.
So we find out who. So there needs to be essentially a sacrifice because find out Plato Zorba was an occultist and he'd been out and about collecting ghosts and bringing them back to live in his basement.
Yeah, which is just...
because that's what occultists did in the 50s and the 40s and stuff. So his life's work are these 12 ghosts that he's amassed in the basement. And
no proton packs, nothing.
Nope, nothing. He just
probably words.
I think he probably just a pint glass and a postcard. Like got them like spiders.
Dangled them out the window.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Threw them. Yeah, he went and put them in the garden. So that's loosely how they got down there.
He got attacked by a ghost equivalent of a Catherine wheel.
Yes.
Which was just a bit mad.
No, that's true. Yes. So he gets a bit singed.
Yeah.
And so it seems that the ghosts are saying they'll literally take anyone. Because once they have this 13th ghost, they can all go free. They're all released.
Yeah, just give up.
But then there's this sort of secondary plot going on as well. Because Rush?
Yeah. So our Rush.
Yes. He keeps turning up because he believes... He keeps on... The way he talks to Buck... He sort of takes Buck into his confidence.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, do you know what's fun? Secrets.
Secrets are so fun.
Do you know, I'd like to share a secret with you, little boy. And it's sort of, with modern ears, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
But all he's doing is trying to find Plato Zola's hidden stash of money.
Yes. Because he basically...
or a treasure. He just says it's a treasure, doesn't he? He's like, there's something worth a lot in this house.
Because he emptied all his bank accounts and stuff, didn't he?
Yeah. He took it, in the run-up to his death, he closed down all his bank, took the money in cash.
Yep.
And he thinks that the big treasure is that he's left it somewhere in the house and he doesn't know. But he figures that an inquisitive little boy... very much more likely to find it than a man who doesn't live there. Because
the thing is, old Bucky, he likes going down the banister.
He likes sliding backwards down the banister, yep.
And doing that apparently drops money from the money banister.
Yep, because we find under one of the stairs is a hidden compartment with... thousands of dollars in it.
So many dollars.
They're all $100 bills, so like $100,000 or something mad like that.
Absolutely.
And so he keeps sliding down arsewards And every time he does, a couple of $100 just fall out.
Yeah. You know.
He's going, hey, let's keep that secret from your dad.
Yeah.
So then when we find it all, we can give it to your dad and it'll be a big surprise. And Buck's like, oh, surprising dad would be brilliant.
Dead God.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. But we can tell that Rush is looking to get away with it all. And the kids, no one's going to believe the kid because he's got a fanciful mind and all of that stuff. So...
Interestingly, he's given up on Medea because she's stuck in bed because the night before she was visited by a ghost.
She was.
Who emerges from old Plato's room.
Yes.
Because he's got a little sneaky device in there.
That's true, yes. So this ghost, apparent ghost.
He looks very much like a bit more cobwebby and... less ethereal.
Yes. So she's taken to bed with a case of startled.
Yes. But gets the most amazing breakfast ever. And I'm does. there's toast, there's a fry up, there's juice, there's
pots of jam and stuff on there. I think she got a cup of coffee with it
probably
as well.
Got money with it as well.
She's got money.
She's got everything.
She's been given the key to the city.
Yeah.
It looked like a pretty lush breakfast, I got to say.
Yeah.
It's so she was having a great time.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's when Buck and Rush have the conversation.
Their little secret.
Yeah, that little secret. It transpires. They find out that there needs to be a 13th ghost, or Rush certainly knows this.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he did away with Plato.
Oh, yes.
Because there is a 4-poster bed, much like the one that we record all of our shows on, because we are decadent and bougie.
Totally
That's how we do it. So if you imagine the 4-poster bed that we're constantly sprawled on, it's like that, but on one of the posts, it has got a little switch, and it causes the canopy to slowly, painfully slowly, lower down all the way to the bed and smothered Plato in his sleep. And this is, and basically Rush is that keen to get rid of the ghosts that he puts
Buck on the bed
onto that bed.
Because at this moment in time, there's also a seance going on. Yeah.
You make so many more notes than I do, and it is absolutely podcast saving. You're absolutely correct.
That's because I have a bad memory and I like writing.
I do, but I am vain.
What I did, what I did neglect to say, and I kind of wished I did. But, they even just were like, but I was watching it and the ghost was going into Medea's room. The door creaked open for about 20 seconds, and it was just a continuous creak.
Oh yeah.
And it really tickled me.
Oh no, yeah, it was. Yeah, well, wait a minute. A 4-second creak.
Sorry, just carried on.
No, it's great. No, because a 4-second creak is ominous.
Oh yeah.
A 12-second one must be pant-shittingly terrifying. It's like it starts being funny after a bit.
It's our Medea didn't wake up with that.
Well, no, but then she was suffering from startle.
Yeah, true. No, that was pre-startle though.
Oh yeah, that's true. She was paralysed with fear.
Grabbed. Anyway,
but so
there's so much more. There's Buck's little encounter with the magician's chest.
Oh yeah. The seance, because the housekeeper, it turns out she wasn't a housekeeper. She was a medium who worked with Plato Zola.
She's like the Margaret Fox of the the 60s.
So she gets them in a seance and tries to work out what's going on, how to help and all that kind of thing. And Buck is told to go to bed.
Yep.
But he is he's found the money.
Yeah.
And so he is being secret. And so his dad goes, Buck, you're supposed to be in bed. He goes, I thought Rush was going to be here. And he's like, why? He doesn't live here, and it's
Yeah.
like midnight.
And
He's
it's
like, can I
proper
just
weird,
wait?
mate.
Yeah, can I just wait for 5 more minutes for him? He's like, all right then, fine. And it's like,
he's not Santa.
no.
Like, he's not going to come and,
Yeah.
like,
Also,
suddenly...
Homeboy doesn't live here anymore.
No. And, like, that's really freaking creepy.
It is. It's proper weird. So Rush does arrive, and then he takes him upstairs and goes, right, if I just kill Buck.
Yeah.
But do you know who doesn't fuck with that?
Bloody Plato, innit?
Plato.
Plato.
Plato does not fuck with that.
No.
Plato, the ghost, he decides that he's like, nope, absolutely not.
Yep.
So what he does, when Rush is looking the other way, he starts wrestling Rush, and Buck sort of slides out. He rolls himself out from underneath this very slowly descending James, the slow dipping mechanism.
Which, interestingly, kind of harks onto the newer one in a way with the walls.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. So that slowly descends, and Plato Zola, in spirit form, holds Rush there, which kills him, which causes the ghost there, and the ghosts all fuck off.
Yeah. They're not happy. I mean, they're all like away. It's lovely. But weirdly, like, it's kind of a bit of a shame in a way, because like Buck was enjoying him. He was having a merry time, like, because when Italian chef in kitchen was like going a bit off his tits, like, so the thing is, he murdered his wife, but Buck's like, oh, it's him, it's fine. Chucks a cleaver, and then he's good. Yep. He's like, got my rage out, it's fine. And Buck's like, oh, you bloody guy.
Oh, mamma mia. or something else ghostly. But then he asks the medium, Margaret Hamilton, have they gone away for good?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. Like, will they be back? She's like, maybe.
Maybe.
Probably. And then he says, are you really a witch? And she says, ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. And then she picks up a broom.
Yeah, because he couldn't... Oh, man.
They might as well have had to say, how about a little fire, Scarecrow?
Get in my oven.
And then, right at the end, they're all counting the money out, and they're all very excited. And the housekeeper / medium is getting ready to go, because she was just there to sort of clean up the mess after.
She did a Mary Poppins on him.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, her broomstick with the parrot on the end is asking her questions. and then the open box with the spectacles, where you used to see the spookticles. Yeah. Can't believe I just thought of that. The spookticles.
Oh, I do. That was too long.
Oh, yeah. They float out of the box and then just explode.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then she sort of cocks a little wry smile at them and then fucks off.
Yeah.
So there's this sort of the end. I don't think it does have the end question mark, but it's got that.
They kind of, I think the ghosts they kind of pop out a little bit and do a little dance.
I think, yeah, they do that. But I don't think they're a threat anymore.
No, they're just quite happy.
They'll be a nuisance at worst.
Yeah, like they're moving on to a new stage in life. Yeah. So
they're going to live in a haunted house, but not a lethal one.
That reminds me of this. There's this video game where you have to you're all ghosts and you have to terrify the family. So you go around basically spooking them to death. It's brilliant. Yeah. So cool.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
And I can't remember what it's called.
I did hear about that, and I thought that's a good one. So yeah, that's 13 Ghosts 1960.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was great fun.
Really cool.
There's another. We love to bring you breaking technology on this, and this was not in 3D, but it was in Illusio.
Ooh.
Which is on the Wikipedia page. It describes it. Illusion. Sorry, it was a gimmick, and basically, in the audience, you could watch this. You could choose to watch it with the glasses,
right?
Which meant you could see the ghosts.
Yeah.
Or
that's kind of cool.
Without them, and you couldn't see the ghosts because they had I think it was the same sort of red and blue 3D thing.
Yeah.
But they only showed up if you were watching it through. So you could see the burning skeleton, or you could just see just a blank screen for quite
That's
a while.
really cool.
Yeah. So
That's
it was
so
this.
cool.
So you could either sort of have.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why
So
did we do that?
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? So so it was. Oh yeah, red and blue cellophane filters.
God damn it.
Oh, you watched it with the glasses on, but you could look through the red filter.
Yeah.
Which intensified the images of the ghosts, while the blue filter removed them.
Oh, so cool.
So you could flick between them, like on the Monkey Island special edition, where you press the space bar to switch between original graphics and the updated graphics.
Yep.
So I think it was
so cool.
had that kind of a vibe to it, which is really, really cool.
I always went to the original though, because I just saw like the new. Yeah. Anyway.
I like the new one, but I'd check it on each one because you want to see what they've done to it. Yeah,
different.
But
vibes.
Yeah, of course. You want the little sprites are much more fun for me, but that's.
Oh no, I enjoyed it. I did a bit of overawing. But
of course, yeah, absolutely.
It just like really worked me. I was like, that's so cool though. That's amazing.
Oh, and apparently they said that the choice was supposedly left by Dr. Zorba, so it was all tied in very nicely.
Nice.
So that is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's probably
Elaine was the name of the.
Yes.
Yes.
The witch.
Yes.
Who was not a witch.
Who was not a witch.
No. Must stress that.
Yeah, absolutely. I really, really enjoyed it, and it's sort of like the ghosts and stuff were sort of. There was mainly one sequence where they had the ghosts, really, wasn't it? That basement scene, and it was just sort of translucent images. But it was still kind of cool, and but the whole thing, it was much more of a story about a family than it was about 13 ghosts.
Yeah, like the most vivid ghost was the lion at one point that Buck was taken about with. So yeah.
So it's sort of misleading, but it's a lovely idea, and it's a nice variation on the you've got to spend a night in a haunted house sort of trope.
Yeah.
And
really enjoyable.
Yeah, really good fun. So yeah, I would say it's not a spooky one, it's not a frightening one, it's not even particularly atmospheric, but it's almost like a long version of a sitcom.
Yep.
in a very weird way, but yeah, I enjoyed it, and you can see where they took the inspiration and where they ignored the inspiration.
Oh god, yeah,
for the
so
2000 one, and well, yeah, and I suppose it makes sense, but then they're dealing with something else. So so that was the 1960 one, which I definitely recommend.
Yes, very good,
proper fun. Then the 2001 remake, so 41 years later. Hey Boppers, thanks for listening to this episode. I hope you're enjoying it. If you wish to offer any support to Groovin Movies, then please feel free to visit Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/Groovin Movies, and you can buy us a coffee, and that would be very, very gratefully received. You can also share us around the place, spread the word to people who you think might enjoy what we do. That would be absolutely wonderful as well. Thank you so much. And now back to 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, let's fast track into the future.
Different kettle of fish. So we still have someone called Cyrus.
Yeah, who's
except he's not the main guy. He is the name of a ghost hunter, and he has a psychic assistant, not played by Margaret Hamilton or any witch lady at all, but by Matthew Lillard of Shaggy fame, and also that brief period around the year 2000 when he was in films.
Yes.
You might remember him from then.
Films.
And the juggernaut, John DeSantis, who played Lurch in the new Addams Family.
Amazing.
Yep. Bit different this one because we don't have a nuclear family.
Nope.
We have Tony Shalhoub playing the father. He plays Arthur, the nephew of Cyrus.
Quite highly strung.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Yeah. His wife died of severe burns. Died of fire.
She just spontaneously combusted.
Yeah, about 6 months. 6 months before we meet them.
Yeah.
his daughter, Shannon Elizabeth, who again, 16, 30, could be anything.
Who knows?
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
And her little brother, who Bobby.
Bobby, yeah. He's precocious, but he's not as like...
He's nowhere near as lovable.
No, he's
I don't
a bit
think,
annoying.
but I think they tried to make him a little bit sort of modern. He's got one of those scooters,
Oh, yeah.
the two-wheel
Yeah.
sort of push-along scooter things that he loves.
Yep.
And instead of, obviously the wife character is dead,
Yeah.
they have a black nanny
Yeah.
so she can look sideways at things and go, "Are y'all for real?"
Yeah.
It's so 2001, it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not.
At one point, she's had to say, "Why am I stuck in this house with all these crazy-ass white folks?"
Pretty much. She's...
And the thing is, when she's not doing that,
Yeah, she's an
actually
awesome character.
she's a pretty great character
Yeah.
that you know
She's
you
pretty
quite
like,
enjoy. Yeah,
cool,
and
yeah.
she's proactive. She does stuff,
Yeah.
but then they just give her this sort of sassy black girlfriend character.
And it's weird because
Yeah.
her like response to a lot of the ghostly antics is actually quite like she's quite measured and quite like intrigued by it all. But
Yeah.
So
there's-
it's weird when like she kind of anyway.
yeah,
Very odd.
It's not handled brilliantly.
No.
This one starts off on a ghost hunt.
Yeah,
This
they're
one
like
starts
in a
off-
junkyard or something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's like that, and they're looking to trap. You actually see them
Yeah.
trapping a ghost.
Which
It was the Juggernaut,
the
I
Juggernaut,
believe.
yeah. They lure him in with
With a truck of blood.
and some soundtrack like of like all these kind of spells or chants or something.
Yeah, they do a lot of Latin chanting, and then
Yeah.
they seal him in a Latin box.
With another fella who he's just like
who gets
murdering.
Yeah, and Matthew Lillard doesn't like that at all.
Because he's whacking on the glasses and he's
Yeah.
like on off, can see it, cannot see
Yeah.
it. It's
So the glasses, there's lots of pairs of these glasses,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that let you see the ghost this time. And seeing the ghost isn't optional for the audience either.
No,
you,
like-
you have to.
yeah.
And
it-
so
It's a bit disconcerting, like because you kind of, or it's a bit much because it flits to and from all the time.
So in this sense, it's quite cool that you actually see them capturing the ghosts.
Yeah.
I quite like that, and obviously different film, different sensibilities,
Yeah.
different focus and stuff. But seeing the ghosts get captured and then get taken, well, we don't see them get taken to the house, but they do ultimately end up there. That's great.
But it's weird because they've got like this extinction kind of rebellion group, but of ghosts who kind of come in to try and like stop the action,
Yeah.
which is that-
Yeah. There's this. What are you doing? Why are you trapping ghosts, you maniac?
Don't you
These are
bloody
spirits trying to
dare.
get at peace.
We need to
And he's
move them
like,
on.
Do you know what? I don't care.
Yeah, because they're heartless bastards.
He's a piece of shit who doesn't care because plot.
Yeah, it's bizarre because like I don't know because Cyrus in the book was so lovely, but then Cyrus is effectively because obviously this is late, but he's kind of like the figure who was Plato, isn't he?
Yeah. Basically, he's the.
And because I thought this was a remake, I was getting like confused, but
Yeah.
now this is anyway.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is a remake, and in some ways they've done a really good job, and in
Yeah.
some ways they've just been very 2001 about it.
Yeah, the tone's
It's
definitely
so
different.
naughties. It's so naughties.
It's very naughty as well.
Yeah. Oh,
It's not
very
that
naughty.
naughty. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I've seen worse behaved.
Yeah.
But so then we cut away to the credits take place over Shannon Elizabeth playing with her little brother
Yeah.
in the garden.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, I'm going to catch you. Oh, I'm going to get you." And Tony Shalhoub, the dad, is watching, and it's all a bit tearful.
Yeah.
And it pans all the way around the room in a full circle, and then a bit more.
Yeah, it's the
Because it's like it doesn't have enough time to get through all of the credits. It's really fucking funny.
it's a bit bizarre. It's like if you watch bloody Stepmom or something.
Yeah, and so he's not doing well with the money. Everything's
Nah.
a little bit, oh, we don't know what's going to happen.
They're in this little
What?
apartment,
Yeah.
like they're all just sick of each other.
Yeah, because he doesn't try anywhere near as much to put on a brave face as
No.
Cyrus in the 1960.
No. He's just like
he's rubbish. He's just like, "Hey, Dad, everything's a bit shit, isn't it?" "Yes, son,
Yep.
it is."
Yep.
Yep, absolutely
go.
shit. And then this geezer shows up. He's a lawyer.
God, yeah.
Like you say, Benjamin Rush starts out nice as pie, and you honestly think he's like a good guy, and then when it turns out he's playing everyone, you go, no, you actually feel
and you're upset.
You feel a level of betrayal that I wouldn't have thought I would have to begin with. I'm like, wow, no way. This guy just sort of turns up and he might as well have lightning behind him. He goes, good evening. And he goes, yes, here's the... I could be putting this on because I assumed that the lawyer was going to be bad, but
no, because
it's broadcast from the hills quite clearly.
Well, his expressions are basically like, everything's just like, he'll turn around and he'll have this like ominous expression of like, oh, I'm going to shaft all of you.
Yeah, he totally is, yeah.
And he's a slime ball. He's just the worst.
Yeah, he is. He is foul. And also, because it's 2001, Cyrus has left his last will and testament in the form of a video on a laptop computer.
Yep. Which is just, you know.
And what's the best thing about it is that he
oh God, yeah.
he does it. For a start, it's on an occult background. The laptop's got this occult pattern background.
There's like runes and other stuff or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then says, "I'm so sorry I made no effort to get to know you in life. I hope I can amend this in death by giving you a house."
Yeah.
And all the stuff. And they're excited to see it. And it produces this key, this mad-looking Aztec-y sort of technical kit. I mean, the house is the best thing about this film, really.
House is beautiful,
it's incredible bit of work. Sort of kind of steampunky and all interesting. But that's the coolest thing about this particular film, I think. And the makeup and effects and all that kind of stuff, that's all really, really great.
Totally.
It's just sort of wrapped around a so-so movie, which is a shame, but a treat for the eyes.
Oh yeah, totally.
And so they go, well, let's go and have a look. So they go immediately and arrive at night.
Yeah,
which is fucking stupid. But the best thing about the will is that it gets to the end, it stops.
Yeah.
And then it starts again. The video just suddenly pops back up and goes, oh, and another thing. And also he answers a question in it as well. It's like, but it's not done as a comedy thing. It's like that sort of joke of like when people do like the Mission Impossible thing. The interview choose to extend it will be difficult. I think we can handle it. No, it'll be more difficult than that. You know, and like the pre-recorded thing answering you is funny, or if it's in Blink in Doctor Who, terrifying.
Oh God, yeah.
But it's neither. It's just there in this one. So that's really, really funny. That made me laugh a lot when I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to. Or it didn't make me laugh on their terms. So, never mind. So they go to the house and it's midnight by the time they get there. It's completely pitch black.
Yeah.
The lawyer's there as well. It's like, you're supposed to be a lawyer. Why wouldn't you go, I'll meet you there at 10 in the morning like everyone else? Oh, it's not frightening. So
and they're also met with the psychic guy.
Yeah,
from
Lillard is there.
Who was like, oh, I'm just your electrician at night.
Yeah. Well, he says that because of the house, there's like 5,000 other houses that don't have any power because it's tripped it out and he needs to get in the basement and sort it out. Tony Shalhoub's like, that's fine. Yeah, whatever.
Why not?
And they're
Lawyers
all and they're all looking at this house and it's all glass.
Yeah.
It's glass with all of this Latin written on it.
Not a lot of modesty.
No, and Shannon Elizabeth's character says, I sure hope the bathroom's in the basement. Oh, because everyone's going to look in and see you doing a toilet, you dirty girl.
Yeah.
So they go inside and they're amazed because it looks fantastic. Oh, yeah, it swallows the key.
Because that's it. The mechanism's really odd and it's like, it's such an intricate thing and kind of expands out and all this other stuff.
And it's, and the doors are shutting and opening and
the lights all start turning on. And
counterbalances and weights and pulleys and all of this mad stuff going on.
It's like when I was a kid, it was like Eureka, which is like this place you go around to.
The Science Museum.
The Science Museum, yes.
Mm.
And this bath like comes down and it's Archimedes kind of thing. It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
That may mean nothing to anyone, but yeah, that's a good memory.
No, it's good. Go Eureka in Halifax. It's wonderful. They get in. Bobby finds a room with like toys and comic books.
It's awesome.
And all of that stuff. And he's like, this must be my room. There's toys and comics everywhere.
Yay. To be fair, his broom is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'd have probably said, nah, mate, it's my room, that.
Yeah, soz.
Yeah, you can get out. Some of these comics look valuable. And in fact, that's where Maggie the nanny finds a pair of the ghost glasses, the spookticles.
Yes.
Which, again, they don't call them in this either, which is stupid.
Yeah, they should really change that.
She finds a pair of those, and she's like, hey, do I look cool? And he's like, I want to try them on. She's like, no, you got to say I look cool first.
Obviously.
Yep, sure. Why not? Hey, it's fun.
I mean, to be fair, they have fun. Like, she called the sister a bitch, you know.
She did, yep.
Yep.
But they have a rapport.
Yeah, they got a little banter, and I hate that word. Sorry.
No, but
it is true.
They have badinage.
Yeah.
They do quite nice. Shannon Elizabeth finds a huge luxurious bed.
Oh God, yeah, right.
Bedroom is a bit, and then she sort of lies on that for a bit. Bit of boy service.
Yeah, it's just like you go in, you go, all right, cool, it's a posh bed, and then she goes in bathroom. She's like, all right, it's a posh bathroom, but bloody hell, she is ecstatic. She can't wait. She's like caressing her face.
It's
like,
because you get a bathroom each, and that's what she's excited about.
It's nice. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, it's a lovely thing to have a bath and not worry about who's previously bathed in.
Sure, she's got different priorities to you. That's all.
It's fair.
But this is where we meet one of the ghosts for the first time. Because she's looking in the mirror, she's having a sniff of all the different unguents and potions and lotions. And then she goes over to the bath and starts running the tap. But we can see that in the bath is a naked woman holding a knife, and she has been slashed up.
Yep.
She is grey and sort of elephanty colour, and they are out.
Yep.
They are very present.
There's a lot of things that are out.
Yep. And she is quite drastically mutilated.
Yep. I'm sorry's on the floor, like blood everywhere.
Yeah. And blood's coming out of the tap, but Shannon Elizabeth can't see any of this because she's not got the glasses on. So as far as she's concerned, she's getting water out of the tap, splashing it on her face, and having quite a nice time.
Happy as Laurie, like.
So it's it's the juxtaposition. Obviously, it's sort of,
And understandably, like, this ghost princess lady is mortified by like her reaction. She's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. She's like, are you honestly just washing your face?
Yeah.
I'm here stabbed up in a bath of my own blood and old bath water.
Yeah.
You are mental. People look at me weird and you're doing this.
Yeah. Like,
this is fucked.
Let me rectify that with my knife.
Yeah. And so she goes, right, I'm just going to very slowly make to stab her.
Yeah.
And then her dad comes in and goes, oh, there you are. Come and look at this. And she goes, oh, okay.
No death kill yet.
Close.
Yeah.
And so they're going down. And it's quite soon into this that the lawyer, he goes downstairs and he ruins everything, basically.
Well, he's basically like going around antagonising all of the creatures in the basement. I say creatures.
Yeah, the ghost, the spirits.
Yeah.
He's got his glasses on, so he's looking at them all. He feels totally safe because he knows that they're stuck behind magic spells written on the glass.
Totally cocky.
So he's like, hey, nice tits. And he's a piece of shit. I mean, basically, he was designed to be such a jerk that when his death happens, people go, hey!
You applaud it.
That's basically it. And it is a great
it's
death
awesome,
scene.
yeah.
It's really, really good.
Really cool.
But he goes around the place. He finds a bag of money. And he goes, perfect. And he picks it up. And there are 3, like, sort of bicycle or car accelerator pedals that all lift up.
Yep.
So the money has been weighting this down. And this sets in motion the entire system. This was designed, I think, by Cyrus for his nephew to find and go, what's in this satchel? Loads of money. Lift it up. Oh, now all the ghosts get released, and they get released in a sort of order.
Yep.
And they're all drawn towards this one room.
Yep.
Where they will have their power drawn by this machine, and then the sacrifice of the 13th ghost can't just be any ghost. It has to be a life willingly given
Yep.
because of love.
Because they're heartbroken and they're tortured.
Yeah. And they have to willingly give their life, and that will open the Oculus Inferno.
But
Inferni, the infernal eye, the hell eye, which gives you ultimate knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
That's the idea.
But it is, because it opens like the hellmouth or something effectively.
Essentially,
like, kind of, yeah. But like the cool thing is, because they've got this book and it's got every single ghost that you encounter pretty much.
It's sort of based on like a tarot thing, isn't it? It's like, it's the zodiac.
Yeah, and it tells you about each of them, which is kind of like a nice little reminiscence to the Hall of Fame ghost thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, you actually see a lot more of him, to be honest.
One of them is the torso.
Yeah, the lake, and then another's like the baby, which is like an adult baby.
Yeah,
and
the baby and the mother, and the mother's like a dwarf, I think, a dwarf mother. Or it's a dwarf actress, but it's like a big Tweedledee, Tweedledum kind of baby,
bizarre.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and like you get like the Juggernaut, obviously, who they originally caught.
Yeah, the bound woman.
Yes.
The the Lonely Princess, or
the Lonely, who we've encountered already.
Yeah, who's
the prince who
naked,
looks like the Fonz.
Oh yeah, he's like a sort of
but
a greaser.
He's basketball, baseball thing.
He's got like a baseball jacket.
Yeah.
And like sort of, he was clearly in like a motorcycle accident, but he's got a baseball bat.
Yep.
And does a load of clobbering. In this one, it's quite cool because there are scenes where the ghosts are like torturing or like beating people up, and the people with the glasses can see what's going on, and the people without just see bodies getting flung around. It's kind of I quite like that. That works really
cool,
well.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that none of the characters in this stand out as particularly out of the ordinary or are particularly appealing in any way. So they're all fine.
Yeah.
They're not interesting enough to sort of really carry it. And then there's a big chunk of time when the daughter and the
they're just not
son
even around.
are just not around. They've just been captured in quotation marks. So, and then all of a sudden the woman, like the Extinction Rebellion woman,
she pops
up and goes, "Hi everyone," and basically if you throw a flare, a lit flare at the ghost, then they just fuck off a bit.
But it's like there's a video game called Project Zero where you just like take pictures of ghosts and then they just like disappear, and you're like, "Oh, that's cool, fine."
Yeah. But so the kids go missing essentially, which just lets us do plot for a bit.
Yeah.
And so this lady from the Spookstinction Rebellion, she shows up and starts and explains a lot of the stuff that we've said to everyone. So her and Maggie shoot off in one direction to go and deal with something, and Lillard and Shaloub go off to deal with something else.
It's funny because like Shaloub is left downstairs and this like the guy with the nails in is like sort of chasing him. He's like, "What about me?
Yeah,
you're gonna come and help me?" And they'll kind of like eventually help him up.
Yeah, there's a ghost, I forget which one it is, but he's a huge bloke and he has got like railway spikes through him.
He's like a more exaggerated pinhead.
Yeah, but he'll just draw them out of himself and try and stab you up with them, which is great.
There's
the lady with her head in a box.
Oh yeah, she used to terrify me.
Yes.
From what I recalled.
Well, she was very frightening because she attacks Shannon Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Breastily.
Furiously and in the breast.
Yes. Basically, Shannon Elizabeth gets she gets one set of 3 nails across her neck, one down like her cheek.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, she just strategically attacks the cloth of her tank top and bra.
Yeah, pretty much.
And leaves her sort of titillatingly exposed, but not in a way that would have cost them 50 more grand to pay.
Like, luckily her dad comes and puts a coat on him because he's a nice dad sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no.
So it's all right.
Don't get me wrong. Shaloub seems like a straight up guy in this, stand up guy in this, so that's fine. But then she's not there for ages, and she's got her dad's jacket on, so it doesn't matter.
Pretty much.
And so Maggie and Spookstinction Lady are going, "Oh, okay, this is where we're going to do this thing," and then all of a sudden Cyrus is there.
Yeah, like,
and then she takes off the glasses, and Cyrus is still there. He'd never died. That's the twist in this one. Cyrus is still alive because he wants the Oculus Inferno.
Yeah, he wants it so that he can open the Hellmouth.
Yeah, he wants the Hellmouth wide open, have a look at its pearly whites.
Manipulate everything.
And be king of everything naughtily.
Yep.
And then Spookstinction Rebellion Girl wallops Maggie in the face with the big book.
Yep.
Because she's been working with Cyrus all along.
Oh, yeah. And
they do
like,
a big snog on it.
Snooty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then he just sort of goes, yeah, cheers, gets the book and goes, where are the tapes? And she's like, they're here. Don't you trust me? He's like, give them here, you stupid idiot.
Yeah. He's basically just a proper dick.
Yeah, really. One of my favourite bits, which is almost Laurel and Hardy-esque, is when they go, oh, we've got to go downstairs and deal with this basement.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, they can't get through these walls, can they? These glass panels.
Yeah.
No, because they've got spells. Well, we'll just take one with us then.
Yeah.
So there's Tony Shalhoub and Matthew Lillard, each on one side of a glass
It's pretty great.
pane the size of a standard door.
And you know what? It works pretty well.
It does. There is quite a cool bit where Lillard essentially sacrifices himself.
Yeah, he says
because
himself,
the is it the Juggernaut? It is the Juggernaut, isn't it?
So it's originally Spiky Face Mark because he has a premonition.
Oh yeah.
When he sees him, that he ends up murdering him because he sticks his finger up at him and goes, "Yeah, I shouldn't really do that."
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's sort of sacrificing himself, and he starts laying into him. The Juggernaut starts coming.
Is released at the same time as that's going on.
Yeah.
But he basically wedges Tony Shalhoub in a corner using that bit of glass. And so Tony Shalhoub is basically invulnerable at that point.
He's a little sweet spot that is harrowing for him.
And then they're both sort of looking like, and then the Juggernaut's like, I reckon I can punch through this. But then the tape starts with the chanting and the Latin.
Yes.
So they all go off in a procession.
But before they go, the Juggernaut snaps the psychic in half, effectively, like in the spine.
Oh, he wallops him. And then he snaps.
And he goes
he wraps him.
legs or
He
something.
wraps him backwards around a corner.
Yeah, which is just.
It's pretty grim. Yeah, it's quite impressive as a hideous murder goes, and he looks well like Lurch as well. His face hasn't been changed, so it's kind of upsetting. We didn't actually mention how the lawyer died.
No, which is it's phenomenal.
Which is great because he doesn't realise that he's opened up the door because he thinks he's going to get stabbed by the
princess lady,
the lonely princess, because he's like, hey, sorry about the nice tits joke, and she's wandering towards him with a knife, and he's sort of backing up.
Yes.
He's walking backwards. And then every so often when a cell, one of these sort of containment cells opens, all of a sudden, all of the walls, it's like all change and
it's like
and the whole house.
The Cube.
The house sort of spins round and then just these two sheets of glass meet together. Yeah. And cut him in half.
It's like a microtome. It's amazing.
It's amazing. And it's brilliant because he just stands there and he just starts bleeding from behind the ear down his chin.
Making the weirdest like little facial expressions.
Like, and then and then his glasses come off because the arms have been chopped off. Yep. And then his tie just flops forward. Yep. Having been cut off. Thankfully, that's where the murderous striptease ends. It doesn't go nude on the moon. No. Thankfully. No. And his front half just slowly slides down, exposing the back half of him.
And all the brains.
Very detailed. Very detailed
really
indeed.
Cool,
it's really great. I reckon something like Final Destination would be super proud if they'd had that in one of their films. They'd be like, oh, guys. Do you remember that one where that guy in the shumph, you know?
But it's a bit like in Resident Evil where they got all the lasers and stuff and they kind of do all the slicing and like whatever.
Was it Colin Salmon?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Maybe. Let's go with
Colin Salmon, because it starts off with someone and they sort of like jump up and they go flat against the ceiling and like a bit of their knife or a tassel or something comes off, and then it just turns into like 6-inch squares and it just cubes them.
Oh, it's genius.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah, it's got that sort of level of precision and sharpness. And then Maggie says at some point, where'd that lawyer get to anyway? Maybe he split. And then they find him later, and there's just half of him slumped down on the floor. It looks really, really cool. Like,
oh, it's great.
There's the lawyer.
Yep. Sure did.
Yep. Oh dear. By this point, all of the spirits are stood in a circle on their little zodiac sign plinth.
Yeah.
And
with this like oscillating thing. It's proper weird.
It's like a gyroscope sort of thing spinning around, isn't it?
It looks like there's a bit in Skyrim where you've got to like the Eye of Magnus or sort it out. There's something, and it's just the biggest pain in the ass. And it just gives me flashbacks of spending about 20 hours just trying to complete this quest line, and it's on every single type of. Oh, you can't get away from it. So I'm just angry now.
I can tell. I can tell the rage is radiating off you.
Yeah.
Shaloub is stood there looking, and there's his kids come up in the middle of it. It's all very frightening. Yeah. And he's like, no, what are you doing? And then he turns around. He's wearing the glasses at the time, the spookticles.
Yep.
And he sees Cyrus.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't believe it. You're just here to fucking gloat.
Yep.
And then he suddenly starts counting all of the ghosts.
He's like...
And he's like, there's 12.
Yep.
I'm supposed to be the 13th. Which means... And then he takes the spectacles off and goes, oh, you... And then just like fucking launches himself. And Cyrus looks genuinely frightened. He's like, oh, fuck.
Proper
and he just starts lamping him, and they start having this big fight. Oh, we didn't even mention the special twist about ghost number 4.
Oh, no, we didn't. Which was...
The burned woman or something.
Yeah.
It turns out Cyrus captured the soul of Shaloub's wife 6 months ago, which is actually kind of a cool thing. I didn't hate that.
And it's good for Bobby because he's lowered down into the basement, and the ghost's like, Bobby, come down. You'll be safe. And then his mum's like, no, don't. Just don't.
Yeah,
just don't.
Yeah.
And she kind of like protects him.
She's still... Yeah, because she wasn't a malicious human.
No.
So she's still a good ghost.
Yeah.
But she's obviously under she's being manipulated by the spells and all of that stuff.
Because he basically has, like, Cyrus effectively has control of all these ghosts.
But some of them will still, within that power, just try and slash you up or smash you to bits or tear you apart and all that cool
totally
stuff.
Understandable.
Quite close to the end now. Lillard turns up as a ghost.
Yeah.
Sort of go, you've still got a choice. You can still sort it out.
Yeah.
Maggie, she wakes back up again and she starts scratching the chant that's being played on the record.
Yes.
You start hearing it being scratched like a record. It's like Victor, Victor, Victor. But it's on a reel-to-reel, and it really annoyed me. Because if it was on a vinyl disc, you could have done that, but not on a reel-to-reel. Doesn't work the same way.
But, you know.
But she was just playing with faders and moving stuff, and then eventually she just tears it off, and it means that all of the ghosts are no longer under the spell anymore.
It's a bit like that Zoolander bit where they're kind of wrecking the show, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. And then I think that they just sort of overpower this generator thing, and it starts exploding everywhere. And the ghosts are gone. They're not of any interest anymore. They're not in any concern.
But don't the ghosts, before they go, don't they like attack Cyrus?
They do. They all go. You see him be lifted up, and they throw him into this sort of abyss pit. Yeah. And then they've got no more business on Earth. So they all just fuck off and dissolve. Except for the mother, who sticks around to just say Ghost Lily. In fact, she says it like Doris Wishman's characters. She just says it with her mind. Says, I love you.
Goodbye, bye.
So he does a sort of a leap of faith and lands through all of the gyroscope things to hug his kids, and then it just stops. I don't know what he was going to do once they were on there, but it's all fine.
They were fine.
And then, so everything's blown up. The house has exploded.
Yep.
And they're all hugging. It's like, everything's safe now. It's okay.
It's all good. It's
and
fine.
we've seen your mum. We've got closure on that.
Yep.
She's off to the next life. And okay, all right. the final scene,
Yeah.
except for then Maggie's walking through the place thing on,
Yeah.
we've written some sassy stuff there. She's like, I'm getting my ass back on a plane to New York City. No, nope. No ghosts in my job. And then roll credits.
It's proper weird. And like,
so,
the thing
it
is,
so didn't need that scene. It would have been
No.
fine the way it was.
and
but
like, I don't think Maggie would have actually realistically done that. I think she
no,
would have stuck it.
no, she was written so badly.
Yeah.
Bless her. She did. She played it very well.
Oh yeah, she was
so it was
fantastic.
fine.
Yeah, she's brilliant. But it was a discredit to her.
The things I really liked about it were just the whole thing looked great.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
It looked very, very good indeed.
Yeah, really cool.
The content, it was like getting a plain white T-shirt in a brilliant bag.
Yeah, it was.
Well, the T-shirt's fine. You
Yeah,
probably wear
alright,
something over it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. No worries. Probably fit just fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But the bag, you should have seen the bag.
Oh,
it was good.
beautiful.
So good. It had string, like that stiff string handles.
Yeah.
It,
Perfection. Like gift
know.
wrapped everything.
oh, mate, that could be the gift wrap. You could
Yeah.
you could legit give someone a present just in that.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah. So that was all very fun. There were no real sort of standout performances or anything like that because it was
No.
all. No one was given anything particularly remarkable to do.
Like flat, wasn't it?
Yeah, the mutilated dead rigor mortis woman thing is sort of it's a bit like we were talking about in Nudes on the Moon last week. If like horrific violence that was dwelled on, and
Yeah.
it was a bit grim. I mean, there was plenty of other kinds of horrific violence. I mean, there
Yeah.
was also a bloke full of railway spikes. That's
Yeah.
pretty shitty as well.
Yeah.
Sure, but he didn't have his balls out.
No.
So
If you want to watch something that's like, you know, looks like that last, but is better, is autopsy of gender, it's pretty cool.
I wouldn't say don't watch this
No,
film
like it's
because
well worth watching. It's
a
fine.
treat for
Yeah.
the eyes, but
Yes.
it's nothing special in regards to. There's some nice ideas. I think the idea of the house,
Yep.
and I like the fact that they related the ghosts to like a sort of a zodiac thing,
Yeah.
sort of a tarot-y card thing as well. And there's all of those aspects to it. I like the fact that we actually saw a ghost getting captured.
In Dishonored 2, it's kind of weird because
yes.
I think it's Dishonored 2 or Dishonored. There's a house that's kind of like that, where it's
Yes, there is.
you kind of
yes.
follow someone around and it keeps like shifting position and like you
Yes,
can.
and
It's
you've got
so
those
cool.
sort of
like those like it is
the
like
mechanized guards and
yeah,
stuff. In it. Yeah.
Like it has that kind of feel and aesthetic.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So yeah, that's
Something
well worth
just
a
fell
play.
off your walls, and we're not frightened.
It's actually a postcard of a naked lady from an art gallery, so it's obviously classy.
Yeah, art gallery,
Yeah.
mate, art gallery.
Totally.
I mean, she was a mad woman who ran into the gallery and just got him out, and Emma took a photo. But
Yeah, pretty
still,
much. But still, classy.
it's classy, isn't it?
Classy.
It's in an art gallery.
It's fine, yeah.
Yeah,
60p I spent on that.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's alright.
What? Cheap at twice the price, mate.
Mm-hmm.
If the script was a couple of notches better, and if
Yeah.
the direction and the performances were a couple of notches better, I don't blame the actors. They were
No.
given very little to deal with.
They did well considering.
If the script was a bit tighter and a bit cooler and the characters weren't quite so broadly drawn, you could have had something really quite special. But it feels so of its time. It feels so early noughties.
Yeah, because there's a lot
Or
that,
late 90s, I suppose, when it was being developed and stuff.
there's quite a lot that happens, but it's not that memorable.
No,
So
and,
you're
and,
like,
and
alright.
none of it's of any great import.
No, it's usually there's a ghost chasing someone. Oh, there's a ghost chasing someone else.
Yeah.
There's another one.
And and also they do that irritating because they've spent so much of the budget has gone on these
Yeah.
ghosts and how they look, and they insist on doing this flashy.
Yeah.
They're there, they're not there, they're flickering. So even the
Yeah.
glasses, the spookticles, don't work so well
Yeah.
because they keep flickering in and out of thing, and it's like. I understand they're trying to do jump scary
Yeah.
and shit like that, but let us enjoy those images because they've done really well.
Yeah.
They look great.
They look terrifying,
Even if you choose to ignore the sort of nasty, slashed woman thing, it looks amazing. Like the actual the quality of the makeup and the job they've done on it is really, really good.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it seems a shame to only glimpse at that. If you're doing something like The Haunting,
Yeah.
where you don't see anything and it's the scariest shit in the world, fine, but you didn't make something that took hours to do.
Yeah.
There's a guy with all of these railroad spikes through him, and giant baby, and the woman with the head in a box.
Oh, and that kid who just keeps popping around all the time.
Yeah, and the torso as well. The torso that's wrapped in cling film. Just to keep it fresh, I imagine.
It's like if Dexter sold his butcher off cuts, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wrap 'em up for everyone.
and it's all this flickery. Oh, did you see it? Didn't you see it? It's like the human imagination showing that little thing, just a little bit there. You know how like in Jaws where you barely see anything for ages. That works brilliantly.
I think
but not if you're gonna leave it too long. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's all right. I'm interrupting you.
No,
I think they could have done it once or twice, and that might have been quite effective and quite a cool little thing. But because it was so relentless, it just kind of.
If once you put the glasses on and it takes a moment for you to adjust, and you have a few flickers, and then it's solid.
Yeah.
That could be something, because that means that as soon as you put them on,
then you've
got a couple of seconds of vulnerability still, and that's sort of quite an interesting thing.
The ghost might knock it off, and then you're like, ah.
Yeah, and you've got that, and then you need to readjust. But just having it, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
a bit mad.
It's
fine.
A lot of it's shot a bit like a music video as well, as a lot of films were in 2001.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, it just shows how different the pacing is between, what 40 years of filmmaking will do to change that pacing. I'd say that if you're into visuals, and there's a couple of pretty cool deaths. Lillard's death is really, if anything, I found that a bit less comfortable than the split down the middle one.
Yeah. Just
because spines and stuff, there's very sort of bone crunchingly unpleasant, whereas the slicing one's sort of silent more than anything.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of good death scenes in it that's for those that enjoy a bit of spatter. And if you enjoy ghost visuals and stuff like that, definitely.
Yeah.
And the house is great. The design on it's really, really cool. It's just sort of they didn't really know what else to do with it, which is a shame. But
but
what was your best bit?
My best bit was probably him being split in half.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that for many reasons, mostly because he was awful.
Yeah, they did build him up to be hated.
Yeah.
Very, very. And when I say that the characters were bad, he was so one-dimensionally hateable.
Yeah.
There was no other thing for him to be. But I think to get away with that level of death, he had to be a complete piece of shit.
Yeah.
Whereas Lillard, you're supposed to quite like him, even though he's a bit whiny. But it was all right.
I liked it. It reminded me of Dishonored. I mean, there wasn't... there wasn't anything that I'm like, oh, I really like that. I really, really like... Because... It just was fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you, Eddie?
Gosh, let me think. Obviously that bit, yes, was brilliant.
Yeah.
I like the designs of the ghosts, because they're all very different. They're all very distinct and clear. And you did get a good shot at maybe that bit at the end when they're all in the circle. And he goes, because he's counting them all.
Yeah.
And you get a decent look in decent light at all of them. So you do get to enjoy all of the designs quite nicely. I think the scene where it's really well done when she's washing her face in the bath and there's all the blood and the stuff everywhere. That's as close to tense as it gets, I think, because you don't know what you assume she's not going to die there and then. But a slightly more interesting film would leave you thinking maybe she could be.
Yeah.
With very beautiful and smiley Shannon Elizabeth having a luxurious, I'm having such a lovely time washing my face. It might as well be in like a crystal stream.
Yeah.
And then there's this blood dripping lass with a knife and gaping wounds all over her.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that contrast works very nicely. And the comics look fun, so I think I'd find out what those were and read them.
Yeah, and I like, as you were saying, them carrying it, 'cause it's a bit like Paul and Barry chuckle, kind of like, do me, do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with the glass door. Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
At one point, one of them calls the other one Captain America. It's like, that's what your shield is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it was. You'd have thought in 2001 a Captain America joke would have been anything, but Anyway, for a change on Halloween, or if you fancy, it's
You're
something.
a bit tipsy.
It's something you can. Yeah, if you're a bit tipsy, it's something you can chat through quite comfortably without missing anything of any great import. Well, you know,
You're right.
It sounds shitty to say because I haven't made a film.
Yeah, exactly. We don't
But I'd
know
say
what we're chatting about.
definitely 1960. Yes, definitely watch it. That's
brilliant. 2001.
2001. If you're interested to see the comparison, it doesn't come out well compared. But again, if you are interested in filmmaking from the position of makeup or set design or anything like that, definitely worth a watch, because it almost looks like the Crystal Maze in parts of it, with the narrow corridors and stuff. So from that aspect, it's pretty great.
Oh yeah,
there's some definite good stuff going on there.
Absolutely. It's
so
cool.
So that's been Groovin Movies again without Tom. We are going to be going on a brief hiatus after this. This is the last episode for a week or two. But we'll be coming back. We're definitely coming back, and we will be making an announcement. We are going to be changing things a little bit. We're still going to be coming out with stuff every week, but the format's going to change just a little bit.
Yeah.
We will keep you updated. We'll probably put out an episode of some outtakes and stuff like that to keep you going in the meantime. When we come back, we'll love to have you again, so we'll be sure to knock on your door.
Yeah.
You can go to groovinmovies.com and find out how you can help us financially and otherwise. You can email us at groovinmovies@gmail.com, and it's at groovinmovies on Instagram and Twitter, or Groovin Movies Boppers Clubhouse on Facebook. You can join in there where we tell you all the cool stuff. So I'm Eddie French, and I've been joined by Emma Tiswell. Goodbye.
I don't know what that was. Bye.
That's all right. It's it's nice. So we'll see you. Goodbye. Yeah.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Thank you ever so much. We'll be back very, very soon. You won't even notice we've been gone. Bye-bye. Groovin Movies featured Tom King, Eddie French, and Emma Tidswell, and is part of the Discount Comedy Checkout Network. For more information, go to www.comedycheckout.com. Thanks for listening.